Good evening. I'm Paoli, General Manager of Interoperability Strategy, and I'm Milan here with Craig.
I'm Craig Shank. I'm the General Manager of the Interoperability Group at Microsoft. We're here to talk about interoperability in the cloud in particular. It's really fun to be here in Milan. It's really fun to be talking with as many enthusiastic people as we've met about the interoperability topics in the cloud. Jean, I think perhaps the best way to start this is let's have you talk a little bit about the structured way and what we're hearing from our customers about it.
So it's very interesting. We are talking a lot with our customers, with the Interoperability Executive Customer Council, and with many others. We actually met them today in Italy. And the way we think about cloud interoperability is always around four main questions that we hear all the time. The first one is really around trust. Trust is in general very important for cloud, but when you think about interoperability, it becomes even more important if you think about data privacy, data security, etc. So that's really important, first one being trust. The second one is really around choice. So we believe that choice of where you put your data portability is important. Choice of tools, you need to be able to use any platform. If you want to use .NET, you can use .NET. If you want to use Java, you can use Java. If you want to use PHP, you should be able to use PHP. So choice is very important for developers. And also using of standards is extremely important. The third one we hear a lot is around collaboration. And so the cloud being an open platform, being shared by many people, we need to be able to collaborate in order to understand what are the issues and work with open source communities, work with commercial vendors, work in general across the industry to understand the interoperability issues that are in the cloud. And I want to finish simply by saying that today the cloud really is already working and is already interoperable in many ways. We already implemented, for example, in Windows Azure, a lot of standards like XML and REST and SOAP that enable developers to access Windows Azure in a standard way. But what's very interesting as well is that there are many new scenarios that are coming that, around a lot around innovation that we will understand in the next few years, and we will collaborate with many people to understand them and to understand the interoperability issues around them. Craig?
Maybe to talk a little bit about an example, and especially an example of how cloud is affecting people already and cloud interoperability in particular is affecting people already. I'll start with a telephone number. I won't give you the phone number, but it is the most important telephone number in our kitchen, and that's the telephone number for Domino's Pizza. We dial Domino's Pizza for dinner more often than I cook. And one of the things that is really interesting about the Domino's conversation that we have from an interoperability perspective is Domino's has workloads that are variable depending on demand for pizza. And if people have a high demand for pizza, perhaps on Super Bowl Sunday, when I believe their workload grows by about 50%, that creates an environment where they have quite a bit of processing required, quite a bit of computing that they need to do, and at the same time, that's not a need that they have for the rest of the year. So Domino's has built out a system that is able to move some of that workload and extend it into the Windows Azure platform so that they can run their pizza, run the pizza deliveries on Super Bowl Sunday. And Jean, maybe you could talk to us a little bit about some more of the specifics of that.
Yeah, what's very interesting is that Domino's Pizza had an application already working on premise, and they extended it on Windows Azure, and this is a real scenario running up. And what's interesting is that their application, they wrote it using Java, using an open source environment, Tomcat on Apache, and this is running today on Azure. So this is really what we call interoperability for Windows Azure. It's just, again, what we really call about the choice. Cloud interoperability really needs choice and enable users to use the tools and platforms of their choice. So so I'm just continuing.
Okay, yeah.
So our customers for interoperability really expect a Microsoft, for example, software and a non-Microsoft software to work together. They all have mixed IT environments, and they really expected to almost work like magic. But the reality is that interoperability is a lot of hard work. We really need to work a lot with the industry, with open source communities and standards, etc., to make this work all together. Thank you.
Ciao.